full review of the updated Ford Kuga, how it's called in the EU, or Ford Escape, how it's called in the Northern American market. Everything you need to know about this restyling here, updates on the interior, and how good is it actually to the existing competitors. We'll find out with Thomas Nautigefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go in the front. The grille has been updated, has a more present front here, looks pretty cool. And the daytime running light, you can see here in the middle, it runs through, so that looks really fancy. It's an ActiveX trim here, it's a top trim in the EU, and here it has then these contrasting lower silver parts to look even more expressive. So I really like this restyling in the front. You also get new headlamps. As for the main headlamp unit, optional matrix LED, the ones we have also right here, as you can see. A couple of times now, the Ford Kuga in the EU has secured the title of the best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. We'll also get into the details of the plug-in hybrid system here for the Kuga very soon. As for the side profile, in this compact SUV segment, it's not too long, but also not too small, 4,60 meters or 181 inches. Wheels go from 17 to 20 inch. These here are somewhere in between 19 inch, but I think a very sporty styling indeed for an SUV. Do you like that actually? Plug-in hybrid charging cap is here already in the front, by the way. 3.7 kilowatt charging maximum, not too quick. So from 0 to 100% at the wallbox at home, it takes about 4 hours then actually to recharge this 10.7 kilowatt net battery. So it will give you an electric range of about 50 kilometers or 30 miles as for the realistic facts. Soon more to the engine compartment. Here we have the plain black frames around, just this rubber material. This is maybe not the most premium look, I feel, but this top trim once again has the silver contrast in the lower part. I think that looks pretty cool, makes the vehicle more interesting. Then towards the rear, tail lamps here with a rather modern signature already, so that's good. And once again, the silver contrast here in the lower part. And real exhaust tips we have here, no fake exhaust tips. Of course, you can also get your fake exhaust police t-shirt here from Autobahn or this t-shirt in our shop. Towing is 1.6 ton up to 2.1 tons, so maximum 3,500 pounds. So it really depends on the engine version if you have front wheel drive or all wheel drive. Turning indicators in the front, actually pretty cool because they're so wide, very visible, also a design function. However, in the rear, I found them just too tiny. Classic Ford key fob, does the job, light and fits good in the pocket. Then let's also see the keyless entry. When you press here, you close it, and door closing sound. Yeah, not a specialty of Ford, let's take it that way. However, you also have to think about there's this cool mechanism, which is a specialty of Ford. There we go with this door sill protector. And that's a really nice thing. Yeah, pretty cool. And also just the rubber that you don't hit anything or maybe another door and so on. You just have to be aware of it, that it's there. It's also for the rear doors. And the thing is that when you get out again, you could, for example, get stuck here. So yeah, always keep enough distance to the doors. Not that anything of that would have happened today to someone. Sorry about that. Then inside of the door, soft touch here in the top part. Then we have this wooden style here, which is actually very well done, I have to say. Soft touch for your elbow. However, all hard pack at the inside of the doors here. Then ActiveX entry badge. Yeah, there we go. And you either get fabric seats or a fabric leatherette mix, or this here a microfiber leatherette mix. Here the leatherette they call Sensico or ActiveX, is their brand name. It's very good quality, both from the leatherette and also from the microfiber, and also the steering wheel with a high-grade leatherette that really feels really nicely and also soft and plush. So good build quality in that respect, and real buttons at the steering wheel too. Let's take a seat. Take a seat, young Skywalker. So here 1,89 meters, 6'2", a lot of headroom left, and it is not that soft. It's actually quite sporty in the bolstering, but not in a way that it's uncomfortable. So I'm happy with that. Upright seating position, you already feel like in a grown-up SUV. So really happy with the overall seat setup here. Actually, this top trim does lift it into a higher area, and this also here, the electric seat goes forward, backward, up and down as well. You also have an electric lumbar support, steering wheel manual, up and down, in and out. cockpit overview. Also turn that on. Nice visualizations, by the way, always when you like turn on or off the screen. It looks pretty fancy indeed. And then we have more of this wooden atmosphere here around. You also hear that it has this matte surface, so that's actually quite cool. Somewhat soft touch here also on the top dashboard. Just put off the AC, then it's not that loud. Then the glove box here is also somewhat damaged, and it's actually quite spacious. And we have some manual controls left here. For example, we have a manual volume jog right here. Then also a button for the driving mode is right here in the lower part. And further down below, USB-C or USB-A charging, inductive charging pad, not cooled however, so the phone will overheat. Then the cup holders are adaptive and they're also illuminated actually when it's dark. It's pretty cool. And this shifting lever here, which is actually quite decent, because here this then reverse, neutral, D, even here a low gear. So yeah, look at that. Then this middle console, some more space here. This is also soft for the elbow. This is not that heavily attached, but you have more space underneath here for a cable or something, and then even more here. Driver POV, left side you control the cruise control, right side you can switch through different settings here in the digital instruments, for example. They are very clear to read with a large digital speedometer, 12.3 inch updated, and this new 13-inch screen here, Sync 4, and this here also has double the CPU power now with some nice visualizations, for example. However, we have to say it is still not, let's say, the quickest overall in all the systems here. Yeah, there are better systems, but it does the job. Climate control is, however, here just digital like this, or then press plus minus here. Seat heating and steering wheel heating is, however, quite good to reach. And this is the view of the head-up display with all the possible contents. Yeah, it is a separate layer, so when I close it, there we go, disappears. You can also connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Also here, when you press this one, then either this with a split screen, or it goes then like this full screen, and cable connection or wireless, both possible. Also the rear doors here have this door sill protection, so that's really good. Definitely clever idea. Ford introduced that and Skoda actually took that over as well. Then rear doors here, hard pack, but you have this nice structured cover here at least. It doesn't open too wide here, that rear door, so that might be a problem to get in child seats and out again. However, the ISOFIX are on the outside seats here, so they are actually easily accessible. And then we have these sliding seats here in the rear, 1/3, 2/3 split. The only thing is when you like feel it in the lower part, there where you actually put up this lever is directly also a cable you can actually touch, probably the one for the rear seat heating, because there is rear seat heating available, at least here in this very trim. And underneath the USB-C charging. This then here the 2/3 split then here also for the slidable bench, but of course a practical thing. You can make trunk a little bit longer then, and you can also adjust the inclination here, this more upright position, of course head restraint rather up, and also more backward position. So also very flexible here, together with cup holders. Also very good build quality here, adaptive, and also here how it like, that sounds just good, you know, and it's also keeping it in place when it folds down and you put it up again and so on. Headroom with 189, 6'2", still enough headroom left. And the legroom thing is, yeah, you need to put the seat a little bit higher, and then the knees, or when you put your feet more underneath, then it fits here with the recess. So it's not like a bunch of space, but it's also not the longest vehicle. And as I said, this recess can be better used when either you put your feet more under the seat or when it's a little bit higher, and then it's fine. Overall, a versatile car also here in the rear, and it's also comfortable in the seating here with the microfiber surface and so on. Trunk or boot at 410 liters, electric hatch we have here. So this top cover here is actually attached at the top part. So this, I mean, on the one hand it looks like a wobbly solution, on the other hand it does adapt then to luggage that is underneath, and it leaves the area here also free directly. This is also a quite nice solution, I feel. Then right side, left side, easy to fold around, that's cool. 1.40 meters in width. The normal length is about 85 centimeters or 33 inches, and the length to the seat as we would be driving here is like 160 in meters or 63 inches. And we have some space underneath. Oh yeah, yeah. First of all, space underneath. There's the charging cable also you can store there. And now you can do now Leah can now Leah can one more time go with the yay, because yes, we have the electric towing hook right here, and you have to press it twice. And now listen also to the sound. This is first, pressing twice.
Like a shaver, maybe?
That sounds like a shaver, right? Really funny, but yeah, I mean, it's good that we can, and it beeps also, and now everyone in the neighborhood knows that we're here. I was really happy with the build quality in the interior and the front, but here, backside of the trunk area like this, yeah, maybe that needs some more fixing, doesn't it? Engines, even for Europe, no diesel anymore now since the update now. You either get the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo or a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, then either as inbuilt hybrid or here as a plug-in hybrid, and with this 10.7 kilowatt hour net battery, so for 50 kilometers or 30 miles of pure electric range approximately, and some 6 liters on 1 kilometers or 39 mpg US, more than 40 and like 46 mpg UK for the petrol consumption, if you use some, of the recuperation still at the same time. So overall, actually quite good values. Sport mode. Ooh. Yeah. So that was 180 kilometers an hour, 50 to 180. With the 2.5 liter plug-in hybrid we have here, the 4-cylinder. And I charge it to 100% or like 96%. Before that we had the full power here and acceleration. On paper it's 7.3 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour, and it was actually quite decent. Here in the sport mode we have the combined power then of the combustion engine and also with the electric boost. This one here front wheel drive only. The inbuilt hybrid would also be available as the full all-wheel drive. And of course we test the vehicles here on the German Autobahn to see what they are made of at higher speeds. And I have to say that at this point, not at 120, not at 130. Do you also hear that? Like, not yet, but now, above 130.
Yeah.
What is it? That's the rear seat belt, right?
Yeah.
Like the rear seat belt on the right side is like giving, I don't know, this needs to be probably better plugged in, that it doesn't make that sound. Stuff like that you only notice when you drive really, really quick. But noise insulation wise here at now 150 kilometers an hour, I think it's quite decent. What would you say?
Yeah,
Leah is an expert on noise insulation because sometimes then she knows it's maybe a little bit different or so. It's always good when I agree with her. That's always good, right? It's the best. Yes, that gets the Leah stamp, definitely. So it behaves very well here at 150, 160. Let's do a lane change here. It's in the sport mode. Good to control. Also nice natural feeling from the steering. Like that actually, good grip. So once again, Ford does very good suspensions. They have been doing that actually for quite a long time. Yeah, maybe not when it's like semi-rigid axles or something in base Mustang versions or so, but in their normal vehicles and so on. So yeah, very good. 19-inch wheels here, and although these are rather large, still not uncomfortable or something like that. Then also with a good seating comfort. Here now more than 160 kilometers an hour, then it gets kind of noisy here in this cabin, but also comparing it to competitors, it behaves very, very well here, definitely. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't drive 160 or so, then it gets too noisy, but other than that, it's really nice. I always see the wiring of the front heated windshield, by the way. Some don't see it. I always see it somehow. And we can also back here to the normal mode. And in that normal mode, by the way, you can leave it on auto EV. Then the vehicle picks itself if it's driving electric or not. You can also go to EV now. Then the electric driving is predominantly happening until the battery is empty, or maybe you floor it down or something. So this is something you can just adjust. What is your main use case of that vehicle, and do you commute pure electric and then recharge again, or something like that? And you can pick it here in the driving modes. You can access it here in the lower part, and then this menu stays actually until you select something else or so. So I feel that on the motorway the steering is really good actually, because it gives you a natural steering feeling. But since nowadays so many cars are steered by wire, and there is actually, let's say, no feedback at all from the steering wheel, this is rather uncommon nowadays. So the thing is that in the city or so, when there are like some potholes, it's like the automatic traffic alert.
Verkehrsservice.
Yeah, listen and repeat. Verkehrsservice. So here, when I want to show you here, when I'm steering, and something is happening on the road, then I do get a feeling for that. And when there's a pothole and so on, and in the city, it can be a little bit distracting, even when there are like some, maybe like some ruts or so, then it really draws the vehicle in. And to me, this is, I found it actually better when I have a connection to the vehicle, but Leah was a little bit irritated by that. She didn't like that much. She likes it with more assist and so on, and
like driving a go-kart.
Yeah, like driving a go-kart, she says. So maybe here in the city, when there are potholes and so on, it's maybe a little bit too much, so maybe there's a good compromise in between. But I really have to say, me personally, I prefer more feeling to the vehicle than there's no feeling at all, which is the case for a lot of vehicles here today. So then we go to this S combination right here. It's always a nice test, and it is actually also a fun vehicle. It's not too long. It also doesn't lean too much in the corner. You can accelerate out, and even though it's front-wheel drive, there's enough power here. Even if you are in the normal mode, that's totally fine. Then you can also gain back some power, of course, when you are on the brakes. Also shows me here in the instruments. It is a very fun SUV to drive. I like it. So good driving behavior, good driving fun. That's pretty cool actually. So once again, situation where we accelerate onto the motorway, just in the normal mode, and also the combustion engine is more activated again. Yeah, I mean, it sounds of course a little bit that it's struggling in a way. Then again, you have to say they did not downsize it. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, which is really fine for a vehicle of that size, and most of the times you will use it rather at low RPM, and that's of course also good for long-term durability and so on, whereas most other vehicles have way less displacement. So this is actually a good choice that we have a lot of displacement considering the cylinders and considering the horsepower count. That's I think pretty cool actually. Now we are on the motorway. One more lane change, really nice behavior. Let's check out the assistance systems. I'm setting here the cruise control. Distance to the car in front of me, or at the moment very far, is being kept. And also here with active lane keeping. Let's see how smooth this is actually. Here so far it's rather straight, but not too many overcorrections or something. Here, by the way, picking the temperature while driving is not always ideal, I would say. Physical interface would be better, but at least it always stays in that area. Assistance systems wise, doing a good job so far. There's also a blind spot monitor available. Let's see if we can induce that somehow. But here it feels actually at home on the motorway. I could also imagine driving a longer way with this vehicle now here, no problem at all actually. The blind spot monitor is built into the side mirrors, but glad there's not so much traffic, so there's not so much coming from behind there. Maybe there's one vehicle there. I think it's a competitor here. Might that be a Skoda Kodiaq? Then we should see the blind spot monitor right there. There it is. When I set the turning indicator, then it's always flashing. Yeah, it is actually a Kodiaq. Yeah. That's also one of my hobbies, like seeing just tail lamps or something, or cars. Leah is like, this guy is.
Oh, it's cute. I like
Okay,
it.
okay, at least it's cute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, like.
And I do it also.
Yeah, she has started to do that as well, like seeing that. You know, like.
She was always like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. No, she realized that, or when we were like at this filming of the Panamera, and there was like a distant sound, and she was like, "Wait a minute, Thomas, wasn't it a Porsche 911 exhaust?" And I was like, oh, "That's my girl." Yeah. That's stuff that's important to me, you know, car nerd stuff definitely. But very solid from everything that the Ford Kuga is presenting us here. About pricing, surprisingly low entry prices in the US at $28,000, 32,000 pounds in the UK. In Germany, the entry price is already higher at about 40,000 euros, and it always depends if you go low spec or high spec. But you can also buy this vehicle here in a low spec and already profit from the good dimensions. You know, it's not too long on the exterior, still offers enough space and so on. So it's not the most fancy SUV out there, but it does its job. And that's why it's still actually quite popular. And I also think so. It just delivers on all the different aspects in a very good way, I feel actually. As this vehicle standing here right now, 57,000 euros or 57,500 actually, the equipped test vehicle, plug-in hybrid, highest trim and so on. And then of course it already gets quite expensive. Yeah, then you better get a good leasing rate for that. What do you think about the new Ford Kuga here or the updated Ford Escape? Tell me in the comments, and also compare the competitors.